In a shocking move, former President Donald Trump recently announced a major shift in his economic policy. He declared that if re-elected in 2024, he would lift tariffs on all countries, except China. This statement sent shockwaves through the global community. It marked a stark departure from his previous stance on trade. During his first term, Trump imposed sweeping tariffs on goods from various countries, including close allies like Canada and the European Union. This new approach signals a more targeted strategy, focusing specifically on the United States' economic rivalry with China. Trump's decision to single out China for continued tariffs highlights the complex relationship between the two economic giants. It also raises questions about the potential impact on global trade and the upcoming presidential election. Trump's decision to maintain tariffs solely on China stems from his view of Beijing as the primary economic threat to the United States. He has consistently accused China of unfair trade practices. These accusations include currency manipulation, intellectual property theft, and flooding the U.S. market with cheap goods. Such practices, Trump argues, have led to job losses in the American manufacturing sector. By keeping tariffs on Chinese goods, Trump aims to level the playing field. He believes this will protect American jobs and reduce U.S. dependence on Chinese imports. This message resonates strongly with a segment of American voters. These voters, particularly in industrial heartlands, have been hit hard by manufacturing job losses and view China's economic rise with apprehension. Trump's first term saw the implementation of broad tariffs on various countries. This ignited a global trade war that had far-reaching consequences. The trade war led to increased prices for consumers and businesses alike. It also disrupted global supply chains, creating uncertainty in the global market. While some argue that the tariffs forced trading partners to renegotiate trade deals in America's favor, the overall impact on the U.S. economy remains a subject of debate. The tariffs undoubtedly strained relationships with key allies like Canada and those in the European Union. These countries retaliated with their own tariffs on U.S. goods, further escalating tensions. The economic fallout from the trade war highlighted the interconnected nature of the global economy and the potential risks of protectionist policies. Section 4, Potential Upsides, Cheaper Goods, Happier Allies. Trump's proposal to remove tariffs on all countries except China has the potential to bring some economic benefits. Consumers could see lower prices on a range of goods, from cars to electronics, as imports become cheaper. This could help ease inflationary pressures, a significant concern for many Americans. Removing tariffs could also mend fences with alienated allies. Improved trade relations could boost economic cooperation and potentially lead to increased trade volumes with these countries. This could provide a much-needed boost to the U.S. economy and strengthen global trade partnerships. Section 5. The China Trade War. A gamble? While the removal of tariffs on other countries could yield positive results, the decision to maintain them solely on China is not without risks. It could further escalate trade tensions between the two superpowers, leading to a full-blown trade war. This would have significant implications for the global economy, as the U.S. and China together account for a substantial portion of global trade. A trade war with China could disrupt global supply chains, particularly in sectors heavily reliant on Chinese manufacturing. This could lead to shortages and price hikes for consumers worldwide. Moreover, some experts argue that tariffs alone are unlikely to force China to change its core economic policies. They suggest that a more nuanced approach involving dialogue and cooperation might be more effective in addressing the trade imbalances between the two countries. Section 6. Political chess game. Winning votes at what cost? Trump's tariff strategy is as much political as it is economic. By presenting himself as a defender of American jobs and a tough negotiator with China, he aims to appeal to his base and potentially sway undecided voters in key swing states. The focus on China resonates with a segment of the electorate concerned about the country's economic rise and its impact on American jobs. However, this strategy could backfire if the economic fallout from a prolonged trade war with China outweighs the perceived benefits. Rising prices, supply chain disruptions, and potential job losses in sectors affected by Chinese retaliation could erode public support for such a confrontational approach. Section 7. Global reactions, a mix of hope and fear. The international community has reacted to Trump's tariff announcement with a mixture of hope and apprehension. Some countries, particularly those that faced tariffs during Trump's first term, see the potential removal of tariffs as a positive step towards restoring trade relations and easing global trade tensions. However, others are wary of the implications of a continued trade war between the US and China. They fear the negative spillover effects on the global economy and are closely watching how the situation unfolds. The uncertainty surrounding US trade policy adds another layer of complexity to an already fragile global economic landscape.